Okay, hi guys. I am in the backyard. I'm watching my boys. But I wanted to go over another concept real quick. I want to make sure, I'm just trying to download a lot of information for my boys, but it's, I feel like it's almost too late because of my oldest. But something I did want to also talk about is the 5 love languages. Now, the 5 love languages is something I learned before my first husband passed away. I read that book, which is a very slim book, so it was an easy read. I definitely read it in less than 3 days, and that wasn't even like taking all day to read it. And it's not a hard concept. It's a very easy concept, right? But it does help to understand the 5 love languages, and I really like that that this man went over that or whatever, because it kind of makes relationships kind of easy. So, my son, I don't know if he will ever take the time to actually read this, but I do want him to understand the concept, right? That there are 5 main love languages, okay? And if you've read the book, then you know. And so I want to kind of talk about it like in everyday world and very quickly, right? But one of them, the first one is quality time. So like my first husband used to say, he wanted to spend QT with his QT, quality time with his cutie with his cutie. So quality time is uninterrupted time. So it may only, like if you only have 15 minutes to spend time with your mate, it's quality. It's quality 15 minutes. And this is actually something I learned in Mary Kay as well. Like when you're really busy and you're running businesses and you have a lot to get done, but you have kids, that kids almost don't need like all day with you, but what they need is quality. If you can just give them quality, right? That quality over quantity, okay? Quality time is like the first main one. That's like not looking on your phone 50 million times, not being interrupted by your phone if you're on a date or when you're spending time with your loved one, with your mate or whatever. It's not just in general, not being interrupted. And also it's not just sitting looking like stoic or whatever, not talking or whatever, but it is quality time. Okay. So maybe, doing something that your mate likes. So no matter, what it is. Okay. Rubbing their feet or, making their favorite meal or whatever, but just spending quality time where you're connecting, you're eye to eye, you're face to face, and you're actually able to connect emotionally, Okay, so that is, that's one of them. Actually, that's my main one. For me, that's my main love language, But now, the second one is, acts of service. Acts of service, doing deeds, doing things that make a difference in that person's life. So, for example, if, like, as a woman, if the man that you're with, he appreciates when you cook, okay, if that takes a load off of him, that's an act of service to him because he doesn't have to cook. He doesn't have to come home and worry about that. Maybe he appreciates it, when you make sure he doesn't run out of his favorite shaving cream or something like that, That's an act of service, right? To make sure that he's not over here stressing about that. But acts of service, I can remember like acts of service that, let's see, my first husband did. He would always like vacuum my car. He got gas in my car. Oh my God. That was amazing to me to keep gas in my car because I was always rolling. Let me tell you how much he kept gas in my car. When my husband died, in that first 3 weeks, I actually literally ran out of gas on the side of the road. I mean, literally on the highway. I didn't know I ran out of gas. The light came on. It said engine light and lights came on and everything. And I was on the phone with a friend, a guy friend. Actually, he was my cousin. Anyway, and I was talking to him, complaining about, losing Travis or whatever. And all of a sudden the light came on and the car cut off. My car cut off on me. And I was like, oh my God, something is wrong with the car. I remember he said to me, Melinda, did you put gas in your car? And I was like, oh my God, I didn't put gas in my car. And he was right. I looked at it and it was on E. And it was because I never got gas. Like, I don't know. It was a thing that, it's not that I couldn't do it. I didn't like to touch the gas. I was so spoiled. I consider that being spoiled. For me, I consider that being spoiled. If I don't have to put gas in my car, right? And so, anyway, that's how spoiled I was. That I forgot I think I ran out of gas. It was like about 3 weeks, less than 3 weeks. It was about 2 weeks or whatever after he passed away. And I was driving and I literally ran out of gas. Okay. So, that's an act of service too. Maybe, doing the dishes, if for your female, if she appreciates if you do dishes for her, whatever. It could be anything, folding laundry, but just whatever it is, an act. Okay. Then there is, words of affirmation. Which are saying kind words, but not just saying kind words, but meaningful, edifying, building up. And I don't mean faking, okay? But actually believing in what you're saying, Words of affirmation is affirming somebody. You are affirming what you believe in them, You're affirming goodness, greatness. If he's your king and you think that he is your king, then you better affirm that, okay? But words of affirmation, because words can hurt. And when somebody's love language is words of affirmation, if you have something critical that you need to say, one thing I learned in Mary Kay is to sandwich it in between two positive things. Because people who have words of affirmation as one of their love languages, oh boy, you say something negative and they are just like, it's like you take them out. It's like you stab them in the heart. And I know this because I went through a period of time in my first marriage with Travis that my words were just way too harsh for him. And though they were truthful, they were just too harsh. And I didn't realize that. And he just had a hard time sometimes bouncing back. And I used to think, because I don't come by that, right? For me, I'm literally in my mind saying, when somebody says something negative to me or anything, I'm just like, yeah, sticks and stones and break my bones, words will never hurt me. I literally had to develop that in high school, in school in general, because of people, how nasty, girls, negative, stuff like that. So I don't take it personal. Like, I just know what I know and I'm very secure about it, and words are words, right? But no, if words of affirmation are important for your mate, it's a very big deal, okay? So basically watching your mouth. And that requires you being self-aware, and it requires you being humble. Like, you have to be humble and understand. And you need to think about the things that you say before you say them. It can be very hard, especially if you're used to just flying off the cuff. Okay? So there's words of affirmation. Let's see. So I did those three. Oh, gifts. Gifts is one of them. Gifts. Giving gifts, buying things. So I tend to notice that people who tend to be a little bit more, okay, so the way he describes gifts is like thoughtful things, like a card or something that, maybe you inscribe somebody's name on something. And I can see, that could speak to me as well when you're very thoughtful about your gift in particular, But in general, a lot of times a lot of ladies, and I find that when they like gifts, they, in general, it's like just things in general, like things. My son, Boston, he loved gifts. That's one of his love languages. And most people have two love languages, by the way. Most people have one primary and one secondary. Boston used to love, if I came home with a little car, the Hot Wheels car. Oh my God. If I came home with a car, he was just like, living life. He was so happy. Every day was, and when I came home, Mommy, what'd you buy me? What'd you buy me? It didn't matter what it was. I could have bought him a French fry. Okay. He loved it. Right. And so, but most ladies, I have my few things that I like. My few things, I don't mind nice things, but I definitely don't like being bought, right? So if a man is coming at me at all, trying to buy me things, and he's thinking that that's going to win me over, no. Good intentions, yes. I love good intentions. I love exchanging gifts, and I don't mind exchanging gifts and everything. But if that is a man's love language, primarily, and that speaks to him or whatever, and he thinks he's going to speak to me with straight gifts, and that's all he has to do, that he doesn't have to say I love you, he doesn't have to spend that quality time, he doesn't have to lift a finger in the house, he doesn't have to help me get gas in my car, put oil in my car, doing those things. If he thinks that all those things are null and void because he bought me a gift, it ain't gonna work. I'm gonna be like, take the gift back and help me out with this and this and this, right? Okay, that's me. But I know plenty of women who just love it when their man buys them whatever. I do like green tea, but whatever, buys them things, expensive things, rings, earrings, I don't know, all those things, okay? Gifts is also not, so like I said, it's literally last on my list. So, and then what was the other one? Let's see, quality time, acts of service, words of affirmation, gifts.
Hi.
Hi. And the last one, there is one more. I don't know why it's taking me a minute to remember what it is. It's obviously not. Oh, touch. How can I forget that? Touch. Yeah, I would have to say that touch is definitely a lot of men's love language. Most men that I know, my father, men that I've dated, most men that I know are definitely, I mean, Travis, absolutely, they love physical touch. You know, I do too. It is scientifically proven that when you touch, and chemicals are released. Happiness. It is a form of therapy. It can absolutely be a form of therapy. Touch. We have all heard of, we know the song by Marvin Gaye. Okay, that's touch. That's definitely touch. Okay, so definitely touch is a big deal. And so, if a person likes touch as their love language, they're gonna like when you hold their hand. They're gonna like that kind of thing. Hugging, caressing, or whatever. But just physical touch. They're going to appreciate physical touch from their mate, and that's a form of love and intimacy. And the thing about it is, my first husband was definitely touch as well, and it was a big deal to him. Because I remember when he would come home, sometimes, and I tested him on this. I literally tested him on this when I first started learning about this information. I was like, because I like the house clean, I like getting things done. He would have a fit if he came home and me and the boys did not like welcome him home. I mean, we didn't run up and just give him a hug and like jump all over him. Like, he loved that. Like, that was his thing. Like, he wanted to be welcomed home. But if we didn't do it, he got so hurt. He would literally like be upset over that. And I used to be like, wow, I'm over here doing the dishes and trying to get things done and cleaned up in time for him to come home or whatever I was doing, cooking or whatever. And he would be like, oh. He would look at his plate or something and be like, you didn't hug me? What's wrong? You don't love me. He would literally say that. And so I literally tested him several times. I let the house go to pot. I let the house blow up. Laundry everywhere, dishes everywhere, no dinner, whatever. It was a hot mess, wild, right? But I welcomed that man home. Like, I, hugged him and kissed him and just basically was very focused on physical touch, right? And he was happy. It was like he did not even notice that the house blew up. It was like he could care less. He didn't even notice. I was like, oh, no dinner? Oh, okay, I'll go get something or whatever. No big deal. He was happy, content. It literally spoke to his heart that I made sure that I welcomed him and I hugged him, okay? So that's a big deal to many people. I'm sure women and men, I'm sure. I like touch as well, too. It's definitely in my top 3, but doesn't make or break me, but I learned for him it was, okay? So anyway, that is something I wanted to get out. I don't want my boys, but I want my boys to really understand that concept if they never read the book or they don't take time. I do find that not all men are readers. A lot of men like, videos or comic books. They're just not going to take a whole lot of time when it comes to self-help stuff. I don't know why. Some men are. Some men are definitely that way. But a lot of men I notice are just more or less like, they would rather just click on a video and watch a pretty woman tell them all about it, okay? So whatever the case is whatever that is, whatever works, I just want you to get the concept in. That is important, that you learn about relationships and you learn about these things. So anyway, that was it for this particular video. I wanted to get those words out for my sons and also for anybody out there who wants just a quick synopsis of the love languages, the 5 basic love languages. Okay? All right. Talk to you later.